What is a yield statement in a function? Possible duplicate. The Python yield keyword explained. Can someone explain to me what the yield statement actually does in this bit of code here? For number in Fibonacci, hashtag use the generator as an iterator. Print number. What I understand so far is, we are defining a function Fibonacci, with no parameters. Inside the function we are defining a and b equal to 0 and 1. Next, while this is true, we are yielding a. What is this actually doing? Furthermore, while yielding a is now equal to b, while b is now equal to a plus b. Next question, for number in Fibonacci, does this mean for every number in the function or what? I'm equally stumped on what yield and for number are actually doing. Obviously I am aware that it means for every number in Fibonacci, print number. Am I actually defining number without knowing it? Thanks, sorry if I'm not clear. By the way, it's for Project Euler. If I knew how to program well this would be a breeze, but I'm trying to learn this on the fly.
When the code calls Fibonacci, a special generator object is created. Please note that no code gets executed, only a generator object is returned. When you are later calling its next method, the function executes until it encounters a yield statement. The object that is supplied to yield is returned. When you call next method again, the function executes again until it encounters a yield. When there are no more yield statements and the end of function is reached, a stop iteration exception is raised. Please note that the objects inside the function are preserved between the calls to next. It means, when the code continues execution on the next loop, all the objects that were in the scope from which yield was called have their values from the point where a previous next call returned. The cool thing about generators is that they allow convenient iteration with for loops. The for loop obtains a generator from the result of Fibonacci call and then executes the loop retrieving elements using next method of generator object until stop iteration exception is encountered.
Using yield makes the function a generator. The generator will continue to yield the variable on each loop, waiting until the generator's next method is called to continue on to the next loop iteration. Or, until you return or stop iteration is raised. Slightly modified to show use of stop iteration.
This answer is a great explanation of the yield statement, and also of iterators and generators. Specifically here, the first call to Fibonacci will initialize a to 0, b to 1, enter the while loop and return a. Any next call will start after the yield statement, affect b to a plus b to b, and then go to the next iteration of the while statement, reach again the yield statement, and return a again.
Generators have a special property of being iterables which do not consume memories for their values. They do this by calculating the new value when it is required while being iterated, i.e. would print. So you are using a function as an iterable that keeps returning values. This is especially useful when you require heavy memory usage, and so you cannot afford the use of a list comprehension, i.e. takes 10 memory spaces for ints as a list. But if you simply want to iterate over it, not access it individually, it would be very memory efficient to instead use which would use one memory space as I keeps being reused. A shortcut for this is you can do any of the following to obtain equivalent results.
Сегодня слушал, с вами